Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I have my most advanced aim map that is packed with a ton of courses and has some really cool features such as choosing the background color of some of your courses and an infinite randomizer to give you endless, unpredictable practice in some of the sections. The map I'm going to be showing you guys today contains some of my favorite courses that I have ever created. Within this map, there are 4 different sections. The first is a shotgun flick shots, which I've had a ton of people asking me to create some sort of course to train this on, and I was able to come up with 4 that I think you guys will love. There's also a tracking section with short and long strafing bots, and another where you're moving back and forth, similar to the bots, which will challenge how well you can correct your aim when changing directions suddenly. The third is a classic, and that is my shotgun aim and edit courses. There are 3 separate ones and 2 that are rather difficult and one that is somewhat a little bit easier. The last section is an all tile frenzy, and there is a large and a mini size tile frenzy as well, 2 hard but very neat sections that have moving tile frenzies. I do want to ask you guys quickly, if you enjoyed this map or any of my other videos, please drop a like and subscribe as it helps me create more content and more maps for you guys. Other than that, let's hop right into the rest of the video. Before we take a look at the courses, I want to go over a couple of little features that I mentioned in the intro that this map has and I want to showcase quickly. The first, which is something that I was in between on when designing the map, which if you played my previous maps, I always have a white backdrop for all my courses. So instead, in the shotgun flicks and the tracking, you have a choice between a black or a white background. I know it's not a crazy amount of options, but I'm hoping since the black and the white are complete opposites of each other, that having the choice between the two will help if you prefer a dark or a lighter background. The second is something that I want to mention and give credit to Zero Hero because it really made the map come together a little bit better. This is a design he created a while ago, and actually he helped me tweak it ever so slightly for this map. Basically what this allows is an infinite possibility of combinations. These triggers here get activated and is what makes all the bots in the shotgun flick section spawn in random patterns to give you that unpredictable spawn pattern and overall better practice. Zero makes some pretty cool maps himself, and his zone wars are some of the most consistently working and more fun and unique that I have seen. His channel will be linked down below. The last thing I do want to mention quickly before we get into talking about the courses, and it can be sort of glitchy, is if you open up your map, there are supposed to be words that spell out what courses are in what sections of the map, but unfortunately there is some sort of render glitch that doesn't render them in until you get up close. You can still use them as markers to know where things are, but creative mode can be glitchy overall, so just keep that in mind with the map entirely, and if you do run into a bug, I recommend quickly ending the game and then restarting it. It only takes a couple of seconds, and that should fix any of the problems you run into. Alright, so let's finally take a look at some of the courses within this map. And my favorite courses I have ever made are the shotgun flick shots. There are 4 courses and each take a different approach to flick shots. The first is called popcorn and is probably my favorite one out of them all. The bots shoot up at first and then after they continue to bounce up and down. This is a great way to practice that vertical flick shot and was mostly inspired by players hitting a launch pad and you have to track and shoot them out of the air. Out of the 4, this is the most fun to me and is my favorite. The second is called clay pigeons, and basically the bots just shoot straight at you like they are impulsing, and the angle they come at you is different from any other course and something you can't recreate with the moving targets that you'll see in the tracking section. For this course, since the bots land towards your feet at a weird angle, there is a baller to your left that you can knock over, and a music sequencer will come along and eliminate all the bots underneath you. The baller will get stuck, so if you need to reset the course again, just break the baller completely with your AR and then knock it over again. Raindrop is probably by far the hardest of all the courses, at least when the bots first drop, as they come down pretty fast and without any warning. After they initially fall, they go through the water and get scrambled underneath and get sent up in a different part of the course, so that way it isn't too similar to popcorn. The bots fall down often, so it can make it hard to keep up once you miss one of the bots. It is challenging though, and it is in a good way and makes it pretty fun. Speed shots is the most simple and easiest out of the 4 flick shots. The bots spawn stationary and it is rather easy to pick the bots out and quickly shoot them. This was mostly inspired from micro shot speed from Kovacs, but it's pretty hard to get it exactly similar with the limitations in creative mode. It's not as fast and responsive, but if you do need something with more challenge, the other courses in this section should satisfy your needs. These sections though were all designed to be used with the combat shotgun, but using an SMG or an AR can be a great idea as well, as learning flick shots with any type of gun can only help your accuracy. The tracking section in this map is much more refined than my previous maps, so I decided to go with a couple of more effective tracking courses rather than going for as many as I could possibly fit. For all of these courses, you can use any of the guns available, but while I was testing, I found that the tactical AR worked the best, as the bloom was a lot more tighter than the ARs, and at the range the map was, it kind of fit the bill perfect. But if you want to improve with any guns, this is the area to do it. The first section is a short strafe, which just means the bot has a shorter movement length. For example, the bots really only move about half a tile or one tile for the most part. Their movement is going to be a lot more jagged and harder to track overall as they dodge in between the trees and the rocks. But overall, this is one of the best ways to get used to the inconsistent and harder to track movement in game. The second is long strafe, which of course is just a longer length of travel, so this one is from about 2 tiles and longer. This course will require you to have some consistent mouse movements and have a good drag across your mouse pad, as important to connecting and hitting all of your shots. The third is a long strafe, but at the same time you're moving as well, which challenges you to have to recorrect your aim every time you get sent in a different direction. I also recommend that you shoot bots that are going in the opposite direction of you, and it's going to challenge your tracking skills. If you shoot the bots moving in the same direction as you won't have to recorrect your mouse movements at all, because you're basically just keeping your mouse still while aiming because you're moving the same exact speed as the bots. One of my favorites in this map for tracking is the 360 tracking arena. You get dropped down into the course and are surrounded by bots at varying heights and different strafe lengths. So at some points the bots will be moving half a tile and others will be moving 2+ tiles. This section is great because it combines the short and the long strafe, but as well you get more unique angles in looking downwards and upwards to hit your targets. One of my favorite ways to warm up is through an edit and aim course, so I made sure to include 3 of them that are rather large. One thing that I wanted to include is a ton more edits that will challenge you and will help you overall with your warm up. The 2 harder courses are much harder than what I typically make my courses, but I think it's important to up the difficulty of the courses over time to make sure that anyone who uses my courses consistently can continue to be challenged. If it is difficult, I recommend just taking it at a little bit of a slower pace and learning the course more before you give up on it. Practicing on something harder can help you improve much faster, so you can always try to track your progress. For example, there are timers at every single course, so you can kind of time how fast you're able to run through a run, and over time you should hopefully see your time slowly start to go down until you're at a comfortable pace. I do want to mention that the middle course is a little bit easier, but not too easy. It will allow you to have a little bit more space in between each of the edits, so it's not too much in your face and intense. The edits are not going to be comboed together as much as well, and will overall just allow you to take it a little bit slower and simpler. It will still be challenging, but if the other 2 are still a bit hard, this is a great place to start and to practice. Of course, we have some tile frenzies within this map, something that mostly everybody loves. The big tile frenzy is pretty simple, but I did make it a lot more intensive and fast paced rather than the normal tile frenzy. In this one, the target pops up, and if you don't shoot it fast enough, they end up going back down, which helps put pressure on your practice. The time before they go down ranges from 1 second to 4 seconds, which doesn't give you a whole lot of time to react. There's also a mini tile frenzy, which is really great for getting your micro movement and adjusting your aim just slightly in some situations, as you really only have to tweak your aim just a tiny bit to make sure you can hit the targets. This can help you practice a whole different side of aim in comparison to the large spreading of where you have to aim in the normal tile frenzy. In this section there are also 2 moving tile frenzies, which is a lot harder than it looks. There's a normal size moving tile frenzy and also a smaller size moving tile frenzy. Both are pretty hard in my opinion, but you have to mix both tracking and reflex flick shots in these 2 moving courses, and it's overall pretty fun once you get the rhythm down. Now this is creative mode and bugs are of course common, so if you do run into any of them in this map, make sure to reset the map and let me know down in the comments if you do run into any big ones. 2 of them that we know for a fact are a problem is the terrain randomly breaking. We have no clue why it's happening, and it's only happened a handful of times, but it is something we have noticed. If you guys have any insight onto why it is happening, please let us know. Otherwise, the only other one is the bots not spawning in the shotgun flick shots, We know why it's happening, and it's because the randomizer ends up getting unloaded. So basically, if you go to the opposite side of the map, you could have a chance at making it kind of just be unrendered, and then it will kind of stop working. So all you have to do for both of these is just restart the map, which just you end the game and restart it. Takes a couple of seconds and isn't too big of a hassle, as these are sort of just smaller little glitches, but we are going to be working on fixing them to make sure the map is as smooth as possible. Thank you guys all for watching today's video. Hopefully you all did enjoy it, and hopefully you enjoy the map as well. Don't forget to follow me over on Twitch. I've been streaming over there, and I will have a full schedule out soon. Other than that, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more future tips and tricks and tutorials. If you want some more right away, check out the playlist and videos on screen for some great ways to elevate your game. Other than that, thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.